Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to be filming kind of a get ready with me tutorial. I just decided to sit down and film since I'm already going to get ready. I just thought you guys might want to see what I'm doing and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to get started and you guys can follow along. So to start today, I'm going to be using this eyeshadow primer by Hard Candy. And I'm actually really loving this. It just kind of mattifies my eyelids so they aren't oily throughout the day and really stops my eyeshadow from creasing. I think it does give longevity to my eyeshadow as well. It kind of makes the color more vibrant also. So I'm actually really liking this stuff and it was super affordable at the drugstore. So this one is working for me. And then I'm going to conceal my eyelids using my Wet n Wild concealer, and this is in the shade Light Ivory. I'm just going to apply this right onto the eyelid. This is going to take down any of that veininess and just really even everything out. And I'm going to blend that out with a Morphe 173 brush. Doing this also kind of cleans up your eyebrows since I already did my eyebrows off camera today. It's crazy because I never used to do my eyeshadow first, but lately I've just been really loving it to do my eyeshadow first so I don't have to worry about it after I do my foundation, so I don't have to like try to not mess up my foundation. So I really like doing it this way. I'm tapping it out with a beauty blender, and then I'm going to be going in with some Laura Mercier translucent powder just on my beauty blender as well, just to set that and prevent any creasing so we have a nice even base for our eyeshadow. Next, I'm going to be going into my Morphe 350 matte palette, and I'm just going to be taking a fluffy brush. I'm going to use my Morphe 433 brush, and I'm going to pick up these two lightest shades right here and tap that all over the eyelid as well. I just like to do this because it makes all the other shadows blend nicely in case that Laura Mercier doesn't really do an amazing job. So I just like to set it with a cream shadow that's equal to my skin color just to create a nice even base. And then for a transition shade today, I'm going to be going in with this shade right here. A transition color should be a little bit tad darker than your natural color, just because it's going to be going from your lightest color to your darkest if you choose to do a dark eyeshadow. But a transition shade just makes it blend a little bit easier. So you just want it to be like a shade or two sometimes darker than your eyelids. And today I'm just going to be working this transition shade into the crease. We're not going to be doing so much on the eye look today. I really just wanted to do like a nude eyelid, and then underneath my eye I'm thinking about using like a little bit of purple shadow just to give it a little something extra. But I really just want this top portion to be really nice and neutral. And using a natural hair brush whenever you are doing your transition is going to create a really soft gradient effect, because this doesn't apply too much product. Being that it is a natural hair, it kind of allows the product to blend more easily. So that's why I like to use a natural hair just for the transition, and then I usually switch over to more of a synthetic brush whenever I really want to apply the color. And then to add a little bit more warmth, I'm going to be going in with this shade right here, and I'm just going to lightly apply a little bit of this. I don't want it to be too strong, but I definitely want to give a little bit more warmth to this eye look. And I'm keeping this lower, and I'm also keeping this more on the outer corner as well. So I'm just barely bringing this in throughout the whole crease. I'm keeping it more on the outer corner, and then once I have the majority of the product blended out on that outer corner, I'm just sweeping it into the inner corner lightly. This is super easy, so there's not a lot to it. Just keep blending until it looks nice and even and smooth. And then to deepen the outer corner just a tad bit, I'm going to be going in with this shade right here. And I'm just going to take this on a little detailed definer brush, get a little bit on there, and I'm just going to lightly move this in circles just on that outer corner. And taking this also like down to the lash line on that outer bit as well. And this just adds a little bit of depth but really pulls the whole eye look together and makes it look a little bit harder. It makes it look a little bit more complete also, just because you're adding a little bit deeper of a corner. I also like to do this because it's going to bring your eye shape more outwards, just because you have the dark on the outer corner. So it's going to kind of bring your attention outwards so your eyes look nice and full and long and bigger and all those good things that you want your eyes to look like. So then one more time, I'm just going to go in and blend the rest out. Then to kind of sharpen up the inner portion a little bit, I'm going to be taking these two light shades again on a more precise brush. This is the Coastal Scents BR-C-S04 brush, and this is a synthetic brush, and it's also more densely packed, so it's going to apply the color a lot stronger and brighter. And I'm just going to go over the inner portion of my eye about halfway and then lightly blend it into those colors just to kind of clean things up and make inner portion of our eye really sharp and crisp and clean. So that's pretty much all I'm going to do for my upper eyes, and I'm going to move on to foundation. First, I'm going to prime using my Milani Prime Shield Primer. I'm actually really loving this stuff. I do think it really fills in your pores and just creates a nice matte look, and I like to keep it just on the center of my face because it is going to give you a little bit more matte finish. I like to keep it just on my T-zone area and really push it into the pores that I have around my nose. And then for today, I'm going to be mixing my Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is in the shade Creamy Vanilla, which I believe is the lightest shade, but it is entirely the wrong tone for me. It's a very yellow base, and I'm not very yellow base. I'm a little bit, but I'm more on the pink base. This is a little bit of spray tan, so that's why I look a little bit yellower than I am, but this is totally the wrong shade, so I'm going to be mixing it in with my Wet n Wild Photo Focus in Buff Bisque. I'm just going to mix these on the back of my hand and then apply it to my face. It's really a shame that Milani foundation is so off-tone for me because I really love the formula of it. It just does not work with my skin at all. And then the Wet n Wild one to me is just a little bit too cakey around my creases and stuff, so whenever I mix these two together, I feel like it just kind of balances each other and it really helps. I mix foundations all the time because sometimes you just like one thing that one foundation has and you like another thing that another foundation has, so you can just mix them together and get the best of both worlds, and it usually works. Some foundations will separate, but usually it works. So I'm just going to be buffing that in with my e.l.f. Ultimate Blender brush, I think is what it's called, and I'm just going to start buffing that in. And when it gets to my nose area, I really like to like kind of stipple this area just because I feel like the foundation moves around on my nose quite a bit. So if I stipple it, it kind of gives the product more of a push into my skin, which will ultimately help it kind of like sink in and stay longer. And then to just kind of like go over all of that with my beauty blender, I like to do this just to make sure there's no brush strokes or anything from smoothing that out with that brush. Also, this is a really good technique if you have excess product. The sponge kind of picks up any of that excess product that's going to sit on your skin, which is going to make it look more cakey. This just really pushes everything in and makes it blend nicely. Gives you a nice, beautiful finish. It looks a little bit light for my skin, but I think it's just because I'm sitting in front of these really bright windows. It's not too light. Like in the mirror, I don't think I look crazy, but in this viewfinder, I think I look a little bit light. But next, we are going to be going in with our concealer. Today, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Sand Concealer, as always, with my Wet n Wild Light Color. I say this in every video, but this concealer is super creamy, and I really love it. And then this one from Wet n Wild is a little bit more thick and opaque, I find. So I really like to mix them. Like I like to mix my foundations. You can mix concealers and get the best of both worlds with that also. Also, I really like doing my eyeshadow first because you can take your concealer and just kind of clean up that edge if you like that look, to kind of pull your eyes up a little bit as well. To set that all in place, I'm going to start by setting my under eyes. I'm just going to be taking this Laura Mercier powder on my sponge and putting this right underneath my eyes. And then whatever's left over, I'm just going to pat this mostly on my T-zone, but then I'm also going to take it on the other areas of my face whenever I have product left over on my sponge. And then I just like to go in with a little brush to wipe away any excess that I have on my face. Next, to contour a little bit, I'm going to be going in with my Kat Von D Shade and Lights palette like this, and I'm going to take my Real Techniques. I just dug my nail into that so bad. Ugh. Anyway, I'm going to take my Real Techniques sculpting brush and I'm going to go right into the center shade right here and lightly just carve out my cheekbones. Now that we have that nice and contoured, I'm going to be taking my Physicians Formula Bronze Booster bronzer right here, and I'm going to be going in with this little brush from Coastal Scents. I'm not sure what number or anything this is, but it's just a brush like this, and I'm going to bronze up my cheeks. I'm also taking this onto the sides of my head and across my hairline right here, just to better blend to my neck so my face doesn't look so pale. I also like to take my bronzer and just lightly hit the sides of my nose. I don't necessarily contour, but I do think that brings a little bit more color to the center of my face and helps. And then for blush today, I'm actually going to be going in with this Tin Blush palette from Coastal Scents, and I'm going to take these two shades down here at the end, just lightly mix them together on that same brush, tap off the excess. These are super pigmented as well, and then I'm going to start working this from the back portion of my cheekbone, and then I'm going to lightly hit the apples once I have most of the product on here, back here. I love blush. I think it just adds the prettiest little color to your skin. I love it. Now for the under eye section, which I'm really excited about, I'm going to be taking my Y22 brush, this little pencil brush like I used on the outer corner, and I'm going to be starting to work some purple into my lower lash line. So I'm going to start with this color right here, which is just like a light mauve purple. I'm going to get quite a bit on the brush right here. This is also a palette from, this is from Coastal Scents, and it is a 26 shadow blush palette, I guess. Taking that light mauve color, and I'm going to start working that on my lower lash line. I'm meeting up with that shadow that connects to my top lid. I'm meeting up with that, and I'm going to drag this all the way underneath my lash line. Then to give more definition to that bottom lash line, I'm going to be taking this shade right here, which is obviously a lot darker, and I'm going to be taking this on a Morphe 432 brush, which is a flat top definer brush. And I'm going to be picking up that shade, tapping off the excess, and I'm going to run this really close to the lash line. And I'm just going to blend that on the outer corners as well, just a little bit, to make sure that they blend together. I'm going to take this Urban Decay Perversion liner, and I'm going to run this on my lash line as well on the bottom. And I really like to shut my eyes nice and tight and kind of transfer some of that and push it into the lash line, more on my bottom lashes as well. Then I'm going to be going back in with this Y22 little pencil brush, and I'm just going to start smoking that liner into my lash line as well. And I'm going to use my CoverGirl Supersizer Mascara on my bottom lashes today. And I'm going to curl my lashes, and then I'm going to apply this CoverGirl Waterproof Lash Volume Mascara on my top lashes today. I love the way that this mascara makes my eyes look, but because the applicator is so chubby, it is really hard not to get this mascara all over your lid, just because it's so fat and thick and chubby. So it's really hard to control, but it makes your eyelashes look really good, so there we go. For highlighter today, I'm going to be going with my Becca Jaclyn Hill collab palette, and I'm going to be taking those two shades that I always use, Prosecco Pop and Champagne Pop, and I'm going to be just applying this to the tops of my cheeks today and the sides of my face. And my nose and my cupid's bow and pretty much my whole entire face, because I love highlighter. To set my brows in place, I'm going to be going with this Essence Make Me Brow little like brow gel. It is tinted, so it's going to add a little bit of color to my eyebrows, make them look nice and full. I really, really like this stuff. And I like that it doesn't get crunchy throughout the day also. Some eyebrow products, like, you can't touch your eyes because they're all crunchy. But this is really nice and flexible, adds color, and just makes your eyebrows look nice and full, but does hold them in place. So I really, really like this. Then to finish off lips, I don't really want to do too much like color today. So I'm going to be going in with my Color Jolt by Maybelline stripped down little, it's like a really high pigmented lip gloss kind of, but it's not super glossy. It's just like a high pigmented lipstick in the liquid form, but it's not transfer proof or anything like that, and it doesn't dry down matte either. But I love this color because it's very similar to my own lip color. It just kind of gives me that really pretty rosy mauve lip color. For top, I'm going to be going in with this NYX Lip Plumper. It's Plump It Up Lip Plumper, and I love this stuff. I'm not even sure what shade this is. It doesn't even have it on here anymore because this is so used, but I love it because it's nice and minty. It gives your lips that plumping feeling. It doesn't burn though or anything like that. I just love it because it gives me such a minty feel on my lips, which I love. And that is it for this get ready with me video. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. I know I wasn't doing anything super crazy with my makeup, but it is fun sometimes just to sit down and film for you guys. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button down below and the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys in my next video.